So good morning to you all. My name is Tony Huey, and as Chair of the Board of Debating SA, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 2017 Debating SA Grand Finals. We acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional country of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains. We recognise and respect their cultural heritage, their beliefs and relationship with this land. Today is the conclusion of another very busy and enjoyable season of competition. This year we've had a record number of 246 teams representing 56 schools across the government, Catholic and independent sectors. I thank and I commend all debaters who have taken part this year, and I hope that you've learned about and improved your skills in the art and the craft of debating. I hope that you've also enjoyed working with your colleagues and had a lot of fun along the way. We are always looking for debaters who are keen to move to the next step and become an adjudicator. Whilst this is Year 8, if any of you know some Year 10 students and above who would be interested in adjudicating, please contact us. Debating SA provides the training. Debating SA is totally committed to promoting and supporting debating as a highly valuable and a worthwhile skill for all our young people. We are very honoured to have the ongoing support and patronage of the Governor of South Australia, His Excellency Hu Van Lay. Sincere thanks to James Tran, Sonia Lowen and David Morton for their unstinting commitment and hard work in organising and running our program, as well as providing training and resources to our schools. We thank the army of parents, coaches, teachers, adjudicators, families and helpers who have provided invaluable support in many ways for all our debaters. Thank you. We thank all our host schools for so generously making available their facilities and staff so that we can hold our debates. We're very grateful to the Honourable David Spears, Member for Bright, along with his parliamentary colleagues for kindly and so generously facilitating our use of this House today. We also thank the parliamentary staff for their assistance. What better place to be on this day to hear our top debaters than in this, our very own House of Assembly chamber in the Parliament of South Australia. A very powerful symbol of our democracy, free speech and rigorous debate. All the very best to our two grand final teams today. I'm sure we're in for a very enjoyable and engaging exchange. So without further ado, Madam Chair, let the debate begin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2017 Year 8 Division Debating SA Grand Final Debate. My name is Truk Mai Nguyen, and I am the chairman of this debate. The timekeeper is Matthew Sutton. The topic of this debate is that cyberbullying should be the responsibility of the school. The affirmative team, seated to my right, is from Pembroke School, consisting of Thomas Tam, Jasper Dew and Dylan Borswick. The negative team, seated to my left, is from Emmaus College, consisting of Daniel Forder, Ryan Milne and Cameron Coggins. This grand final debate will be judged by a panel of 5 adjudicators who are Carolyn Chua, Claire Hale, Henry Saxon, Mitchell Brunker and Samuel Messina. The speaking time of this debate is 4 minutes. A single warning bell will sound at 3 minutes, and a double bell will sound at 4 minutes. If required, a continuous bell will sound 30 seconds after the second bell, indicating that the speaker must conclude their speech. I ask that all mobile phones and other electronic devices be switched off for the duration of this debate. I declare this debate open and call upon Thomas Tam to open the affirmative case.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that cyberbullying should be the responsibility of the school. We, the affirmative team, define cyberbullying as, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, the use of electronic communication to bully a person, typically by sending messages of an intimidating or threatening nature. We define the word should as having a moral obligation to take action, the word responsibility as having a duty to deal with something. Responsibility in this context refers to the school having the responsibility to not only deal with the cyberbullying incident, but work to prevent it, and also to educate the members of its community, students, parents, and staff about cyberbullying. We define school as an institution for educating children. We, the Affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. Today's first speaker, I'll be talking to you about why schools are best placed to prevent cyberbullying and to educate children and entire school communities. Our second speaker will be speaking about how schools are in prime position to deal with cyberbullying due to their knowledge of the children involved, as well as their specialised training. He will also explain how cyberbullying has significant impacts on the victim's self-esteem and mental health, impeding their ability and willingness to learn, subsequently making it the school's responsibility. Cyberbullying is a dangerous new form of bullying that has only become prevalent in the past years as communication technologies have developed. In a study conducted by the NCPC, the National Crime Prevention Council, more than half of the surveyed 15 and 16-year-olds had experienced cyberbullying. School attendance is compulsory from the ages of 6 to 16, and as stated by the National Crime Prevention Council, children aged 12 to 16 years of age are most likely to experience cyberbullying. These ages reported by the NCPC directly correlate with the ages of children attending schools all around South Australia. The Australian Government Department of Education and Training declares that student wellbeing and safety are essential for academic and social development. Consequently, schools are obliged under their education policy to take care of their students' wellbeing and safety. Any type of bullying, cyberbullying included, endangers this. Therefore, schools have an obligation, both moral and legal, to prevent cyberbullying. This is called duty of care, and all schools have it towards their students and all who work there. Under the Australian education policy, Australian schools must be responsible for cyberbullying, or they are not fulfilling their education policy. The responsibility of the school doesn't just apply to dealing with the effects of a cyberbullying incident, a point which our second speaker will further elaborate upon, but also applies to educating about and preventing any cyberbullying. This job of education and prevention is best suited to schools. The ages of children who most commonly suffer from cyberbullying are school-aged, and they spend on average around 7 hours attending school daily. This weekly 35-hour period of time is best suited to educating children about the threat of cyberbullying and how to deal with it if it occurs. Schools are also capable of reaching almost every single child in Australia, a feat which will be almost impossible for other organisations. Furthermore, schools have many resources available to educate their students about cyberbullying. Schools provide diaries to every single student attending, which detail what should be done if cyberbullying occurs and contains methods of how to deal with it. Schools hold retreat days, assemblies, and health lessons, among many other events, which are suited to educating children about cyberbullying. Schools also have staff, such as counsellors and school teachers, who know their school community and therefore are able to provide age programs and education to all students from primary to high school. They are attuned to how students think, feel, and learn, and can therefore tailor cyberbullying, educational material, and programs to student-specific needs. School cyber safety and cyberbullying policies are available to the entire school community. This includes parents, families, and teachers, other staff members, and even visiting staff. Hence, everyone who has a stake in students' well-being is fully informed and aware of the processes of mitigating and preventing cyberbullying. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we, the Affirmative team, believe that cyberbullying should not be the responsibility of the school, because not only are schools legally bound by the government's education policy to be responsible for cyberbullying, schools are best placed, funded, and equipped to educate and prevent it. Thank you.
I call upon Daniel Forder to open the negative case.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for this debate is that cyberbullying should be the responsibility of the school. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. We disagree with the definition given by the affirmative team. Our team defines cyberbullying to mean the widespread phenomenon of bullying via electronic communication using internet services and devices outside of the school control. It does not include cyberbullying on an internet service and device within the control of the school. Additionally, our team defines responsibility as a duty to prevent, investigate and punish incidences of cyberbullying. To arrive at this definition, our team has applied the golden rule of statutory interpretation applied by the courts to avoid absurd results. Clearly, it would be absurd for a school not to have responsibility for cyberbullying on its own internet service carriage and devices, as this, according to the Victorian Department of Education, clearly falls within the school's legal duty of care to make sure its students are safely supervised in all learning environments. Today, as first speaker, I'll be talking to you about how most of cyberbullying happens outside the jurisdiction and knowledge of the school. Our second speaker will be telling you that schools are inadequately equipped to deal with cyberbullying and other parties are better able to control the occurrence of cyberbullying. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team case. The first affirmative speaker has tried to define responsibility, including education and punishing. Education and punishing are not relevant to this debate because they are wider general duties of the school and not specific to cyberbullying. The first affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that schools should be responsible for cyberbullying because they are legally responsible. This is wrong because recent legal research at Notre Dame University in Western Australia found that no schools have been found liable for cyberbullying by senior Australian courts. Now to my first point. Cyberbullying is beyond the geographic and temporal jurisdiction of schools because, as stated by Alex Cohn, an Australian legal expert in cyberbullying, most cyberbullying rarely takes place within the school grounds or within school hours. It is ludicrous to expect schools to be responsible for student behaviour out of school when schools have absolutely no authority or supervisory powers over the students' personal activities. This is backed up by the Australian High Court's decision in Gaia versus Downs, which found that schools may only be liable for bullying that occurs when the students are under the school's custody, such as during the day and the extracurricular sports. My second point is that the school should not be responsible because the majority of cyberbullying does not even come to their attention. According to the report prepared by UNSW on cyberbullying in Australian schools, whilst up to 30% of children are regularly cyberbullied, only 9% of these cases are reported to the schools. That's less than 1/3. How can the school be held responsible for cyberbullying if they are in the dark about most of it? So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, cyberbullying is clearly not the responsibility of the school. Because cyberbullying is predominantly a problem that occurs beyond the school's jurisdiction and knowledge, they should not be held responsible. Schools are thankfully not spy agencies like ACO or the CIA that can monitor students' behaviour 24/7, and nor they should be. Thank you.
To continue the affirmative case, please welcome Jasper Dew.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that cyberbullying should be the responsibility of the school. We, the Affirmative team, strongly believe that this statement is true. Before I get to my points, I would first like to point out some flaws in the opposing team's definition and then argument. Our definition is more reliable because the definitions for the words cyberbullying, schools, and responsibility come from the prestigious Oxford English Dictionary, which has been around for over 1,000 years and is widely regarded as the accepted authority on the English language. Our specific context definition of responsibility is also very relevant, as according to the Department of Education and Training, Australian schools, families and communities all have a responsibility to provide safe online environments and teach children how to use technology in positive and productive ways, directly supporting our definition. The first negative speaker has tried to convince you that schools have no responsibility because the majority of cyberbullying happens outside of school. This is incorrect because, whilst the school has no authority to act outside of school grounds, they do have that power on school grounds. Even if a student cyberbullies the victim outside of school hours, they must return to school the next day. Once on school grounds, the school has jurisdiction over them once more. And also in regards to the school not having any responsibility off campus, the Safe Schools Framework states that national assessments of the physical school environment, including environments related to off-campus and outside of school-related activities, must take place, leading to the development of effective risk management plans. The including of environments related to off-campus and outside of school-related activities means that the schools do have to manage risk plans, assist and take some level of responsibility for activities that happen outside of the school gates, such as cyberbullying. Today, as second speaker, I'll be talking to you about 2 points. My first point is that schools are in the prime position to deal with cyberbullying due to their knowledge of the children involved, as well as their specialised training. Children spend around 35 hours a week at school, under adult guidance and supervision, which puts them in an excellent position to deal with cyberbullying. Schools are required to follow behavioural management policies and bullying policies. Trained school counsellors and teachers provide support for victims and offenders of cyberbullying. Even if the bullying takes place out of school hours, as the school knows about and understands the reasons behind cyberbullying, such as the history of learning, behavioural or family difficulties, they are best equipped to deal with the problem. Parents, police and the government do not know these crucial details about the students. Schools are less biased than parents, who are more likely to also defend their child. Research by the University of Michigan on children's mental health found that parents did not fully understand the nature and the effects of cyberbullying. Clearly, parents are in no position to deal with this serious problem on their own. Some parents also come from generations or cultures where conflict is avoided and people just dealt with the problem. Many are also not very tech savvy and don't understand what type of harassment can take place. Schools can respond to cyberbullying in a fair and even-handed way to all children, regardless of what families and backgrounds they come from. Schools are the only community that are able to do that, as they have a duty of care to all students to do so. My second point is that cyberbullying has significant impacts on the victim's self-esteem and mental health, impeding on their ability and willingness to learn. According to stopbullying.gov, kids who are cyberbullied are more likely to use alcohol or drugs, skip school, have lower self-esteem, or have more health problems than other students. Being bullied into depression results in a lack of eagerness and ability to learn at school. The National Safe Schools Framework states that students have a fundamental right to learn in a safe, supportive environment and be treated with respect. If schools do not take action, they are not abiding to the core value of ensuring that students are learning in a safe and supportive environment and being treated with respect. Using the knowledge that they have gained through working with students every day and the resources like school counsellors, they can effectively resolve this problem and educate all involved so it does not happen again. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, cyberbullying is without doubt the school's responsibility to ensure a healthy and safe learning and social environment for all of its students. Thank you.
To continue the negative case, please welcome Ryan Milne.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for this debate is that cyberbullying should be the responsibility of the school. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. The second affirmative speaker tried to tell you that their definition is better than ours because it comes directly from the Oxford Dictionary. But this is just the meaning of individual words, not the phrase. They also tried to tell you that schools are best equipped to deal with cyberbullying because they know the students personally. This is wrong because lots of cyberbullying is carried out under a false name anonymously or between students of a different school where the school would not know how to deal with the offenders. Our first speaker, Daniel, has told you that most cyberbullying happens outside the school's jurisdiction and knowledge. I will talk to you about 2 points. My first point is that the schools have neither the necessary resources nor the authority to be responsible for cyberbullying. The ABC states that teachers' workloads are already beyond capacity, with more admin duties than ever and the pressure of improving students' grades. Add to this that, according to the Education Union, about half of schools are under-resourced. This means that schools do not have enough money to be responsible for the colossal task of dealing with cyberbullying. Investigating cyberbullying is a complex technical task. A UNSW report on cyberbullying found cyberbullies frequently don't use their own names on social media sites, meaning that IP addresses need to be tracked. Our parliaments even recognise that the responsibility for investigating and punishing cyberbullying lies with the government, not the school. Cyberbullying is a crime under federal law. Hence, it is the responsibility of the police, who are much better equipped than the school. The federal government even appointed an e-safety commissioner specifically to receive and investigate cyberbullying complaints. My second point is that parents and social media companies should be responsible for preventing cyberbullying, not the school. As Donna Cross, a professor in child health, states, because most cyberbullying happens at home, parents need to be aware of the technology that young people are using so they can look at the ways in which they're engaging with their friends. Social media companies have direct control over students' access to the social cyber world. They can ban cyberbullies and remove their posts. The e-safety commissioner has the power to fine social media companies $17,000 if they do not remove offensive posts, thus proving it should not be the school's responsibility. In conclusion, cyberbullying should not be the responsibility of the school. Schools simply do not have the resources to investigate and punish cyberbullying. Responsibility lies with other far better suited groups. Schools being responsible for cyberbullying is like paramedics fighting fires. Thank you.
To conclude the affirmative case, I call upon Dylan Worswick.
Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, timekeeper and chair. The topic for our debate is that cyberbullying should be the responsibility of the school, and we, the affirmative team, strongly believe that this statement is true. Our definition is more reliable than the negative teams, as they stated cyberbullying does not occur on school grounds, and as this is a violation of their duty of care. Regardless of where this occurs, cyberbullying can happen. And even if it is in breach of their duty of care, cyberbullying may occur. The negative team has also stated that the school is unable to manage cyberbullying if it occurs off school grounds. This is entirely false, as whilst the school has no authority whilst they are on school grounds, they do have power once they return to school. Even if a student cyberbullies their victim outside of school hours, they must return to school the next day. Once on school ground, the school once more has jurisdiction over them. If the bullying affects a fellow student, it may punish the student despite cyberbullying occurring off campus, according to Law Stuff Australia. Also, despite bullying occurring off campus, its effects may be prevalent the next day, where the school may intervene and provide support. If the school is ridiculed the next day by other kids, this is very relevant to the school. The school may investigate the perpetrator the next day. If the child suffers any trauma as a result of cyberbullying that occurred off campus, the school are well within their rights to investigate. The opposition also stated that this is too much responsibility for schools. This is false, as the government spends $18 billion annually on Australian schools. They are truly well-resourced, and technological solutions such as Smoothable Web Filter and AB Tutor are available to students easily. These highly advanced software programs provide schools access to a simple yet effective solution to a growing problem. Many Australian schools also employ counsellors or nurses capable of catering to a child's emotional needs and providing victims and perpetrators with support. Schools deal with bullying in many forms on a regular basis, making them more than adequately qualified to deal with cyberbullying. This enhanced understanding of children rather involves less responsibility than other institutions would require due to their comprehensive understanding of children. Managing this situation is far easier and involves less effort. Our first speaker has demonstrated that schools are best positioned to manage the challenges of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is most prominent in school-aged children between 6 and 16, giving schools direct contact with the people most affected by cyberbullying. They have expertise in education and prevention, which enables the establishment of preventative measures. They have a range of resources at their disposal, such as health lessons, retreat days, and technological education. Schools also have a duty of care and a moral and legal obligation to protect their students from bullying in all forms, including through social media. Schools have a detailed knowledge of the school community. Our second speaker has spoken to you about how schools have an extensive knowledge of school dynamics and individual needs, as well as a comprehensive understanding of cultural and socio-economic factors affecting the students. This enables an individualised plan best suited to each situation. He also discussed how cyberbullying has long-term effects. As the students spend a significant time at school, educators are ideally placed to implement long-term solutions over an extended period of time to prevent it from reoccurring. Students are helpless in tackling cyberbullying alone, being disempowered by crippling effects on emotional resilience. Parents are powerless to defeat the widespread and often faceless attacks on their children. Only the schools have the knowledge, the resources and expertise to curtail this dangerous epidemic which threatens the well-being of our students. Thank you.
To conclude the negative case and this morning's debate, I call upon Cameron Coggins.
Good morning, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for this debate is that cyberbullying should be the responsibility of the school. We, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. This morning, the affirmative team has presented an argument littered with flaws. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that schools should be responsible for cyberbullying because they are able to take more appropriate measures to deal with cyberbullies and their victims, since they can speak to parents and provide counselling. This is wrong, because as our first speaker told you, this debate is about the widespread phenomenon of cyberbullying, not just the small fraction of cyberbullying cases the school becomes aware of. Also, this debate is about preventing, investigating and punishing the act of cyberbullying, not counselling the after effects of cyberbullying. The first affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that schools should be responsible for cyberbullying because they are legally responsible to do so. This is wrong because according to recent legal research by the University of Notre Dame in WA, there have been no senior Australian court decisions where schools have been found liable for cyberbullying. Our team deals in facts, and the fact is that under Australian law, schools are not legally responsible for cyberbullying outside the school gates. The first affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that schools should be responsible for cyberbullying because teachers are trained to educate and therefore they can teach best about cyberbullying. This is a flawed argument because, as our second speaker told you, teachers are already overstretched with workload. It doesn't matter how good they are at teaching if they have no time to teach. Besides, parents are able to easily access fantastic materials, such as on the e-Commissioner's website, to help them educate their children about cyberbullying. The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that schools should be responsible for cyberbullying because they are best equipped to deal with cyberbullying as they know the students personally. This is wrong because, as our second speaker told you, cyberbullying is frequently carried out anonymously or between students of different schools. Also, it is better for a neutral body to deal with cyberbullying, as the school may have unfair, preconceived views about their own students. The second affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that cyberbullying has serious effects on children's self-esteem. This is true, which is why we believe schools shouldn't deal with cyberbullying. A matter with such big consequences should be in the hands of the government, a more suitable organisation to deal with it. The third affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that cyberbullying can still occur on school grounds. This is wrong, as no reasoning was provided for this statement. This morning, our first speaker has told you that the school should not be responsible for the widespread phenomenon of cyberbullying, of which they are aware of only a small fraction. He also told you that because cyberbullying is an out-of-school problem, it is beyond the jurisdiction of the school to act, a position endorsed by our country's top court. Our second speaker has explained that overburdened teachers and under-resourced schools mean that it is completely unrealistic for schools to be responsible for cyberbullying. He also provided substantive argument to show that legislation firmly places responsibility for cyberbullying with the e-Safety Commissioner, police and social media companies. So, in conclusion, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, responsibility for cyberbullying should not lie with the school. This is not just our belief, but it is also that of the highest authorities in the land. Our state lawmakers who sit in this very chamber, their federal counterparts in Canberra, and our most esteemed judges in the High Court of Australia. Thank you.
While the adjudicators make the decision today, we'd just like to let all the parents and audience members and fellow debaters know we do actually have a debating essay mailing list that you can sign up to today. By signing up, you'll get all the information that you need for our training sessions commencing in 2018. We do come to all the schools. We make ourselves available on weekends as well to do debating training sessions in rebuttal, fallacies, and all those types of elements of debating that students may need before the season even starts. So if you'd like to see Mr. Tran, Ms. Lowen and myself before you leave today and give us those details, we will send those out to you as soon as we've got them for next year. Thank you.
And just while we're waiting, just some procedures at the end of today's debate. There will be some formal photographs which James will take of both teams, and the trophy will not be taken away today. It will be presented at Sacred Heart, so please don't take the trophy with you, whoever it is. Leave it with us. And there will be an opportunity just before we conclude, after James has taken the formal photos, for you, if you'd like to come and take a photo with your coaches and your debaters and teachers and so forth. I will ask, however, that once that's done, that you move out fairly quickly because the next debate is scheduled to start at 11 a.m. So thank you.
I call upon a representative of the adjudication panel to come forward and award the debate.
Congratulations again to both teams. I think another round of applause. The adjudication panel today had a split vote, and the decision was 4-1 in favour of the negative. Congratulations.
I call upon a member of the runner-up team from Pembroke to give a vote of thanks.
Thanks to the adjudicators for spending your time judging our debate, the parents for coming out and bringing your kids to the debate, and the chairman, the timekeeper, any other people who've come to watch, and of course the negative team for an amazing debate. Thank you.
I call upon a member of the winning team from Emmaus Christian College to second that vote of thanks.
I'd like to thank the audience for coming here to watch us this morning. I'd like to thank the Affirmative team for putting up such a hard-fought debate. I'd like to thank the adjudicators for judging the debate. I'd like to thank the chairman and timekeeper for helping run the debate. Yes. Thank you.